Jeff
who?
We
didn't forget him.
Zoolander. I think that's Good morning, everybody. So glad you're here. I'm Eric Connor.
I'm Stella Escovedo. Wow, what a weekend it was. I'm not complaining, but it was hot.
It was hot.
Yeah. So how many people went to the beach this weekend? A lot of people. Yeah, we went from the mountains to the beach. Definitely needed that cool down. And I don't blame you. We were breaking records all around for at least the past 4 days under this giant ridge of high pressure. We still have one more day of it. Clear skies starting off, a weak offshore wind coming through. It is cool right now, 54 degrees, but it will be another warm day. Not as hot, but still temperatures will be on their way down. I'll get into all those details coming up. Jenny, good morning.
Good morning. Very quiet with your travel time, so we'll just focus in on the crashes, including one of the newer ones, Union Street at Juniper, crews blocking one lane, and then 905 westbound right before Caliente, left-hand shoulder blocked.
New this morning, at least one person has died after a house fire in Ramona.
It happened just after 2:30 this morning on Telford Lane near Keys Road. Firefighters were able to quickly put out the flames. Investigators still trying to figure out how it started. And this morning, the family of a 3-month-old girl murdered opens up about their tragic loss.
The couple accused of killing their daughter is expected before a judge for the first time today. And News 8's Evan Ronnie is live outside the Hall of Justice downtown with a closer look at this. Good morning, Evan.
Good morning to you as well. That's right. A 21 and 22-year-old are expected to appear in court after only having custody of their child for 6 weeks and that baby then being found dead. Prosecutors do believe that those parents were responsible for the death, but News 8 spoke with the great-grandmother of that child who said that these two parents never should have received custody in the first place.
I know that my granddaughter was dangerous. I knew this. I told social services.
And that's Adrienne Arnett. She says that she knew her granddaughter was unable to take care of that child. Arnett and a family member communicated that with Child Protective Services, expressing fear for the infant's life. Arnett said that when the child was born, emergency custody was given to the great aunt because social services deemed the parents' apartment dirty and unfit. But a month and a half later, after the apartment was cleaned, the parents were given custody again. It was only 6 weeks following that, on Wednesday night, when officers responded to a medical emergency in Colina del Sol. Police found a baby girl in grave condition. Paramedics took the child to a hospital where she was pronounced dead, and now 22-year-old Elizabeth Uckman and 21-year-old Brandon Copeland were arrested. They're currently in county jail. There is very little information surrounding how exactly this baby died or what condition that child was found in specifically. However, we, of course, are still kind of in the developing phases of this. Today is going to be their first court appearance for that 21 and 22-year-old, where we are likely to find out more as to how exactly this came to be. But for now, you can stay updated with us on our website, cbs8.com, as well as on the News 8 app. Outside of the Hall of Justice, I'm Evan Irani, News 8.
And today, a judge is expected to decide if investigative sheriff's documents in the Rebecca Zahal case will be released. Her family is pushing to see the documents they say were withheld by Sheriff Bill Gore. Zahal was found dead at the Spreckles mansion in Coronado more than 10 years ago. The sheriff's department ruled the death a suicide, but her family thinks she was murdered. Her family says the sheriff is required by law to release those files, but Gore's attorney argues the law allows him to withhold the information. Healthcare workers are not walking off the job today after all. Kaiser and the Alliance of Healthcare Unions reached a deal on a 40-year contract. The tentative deal includes wage increases each year for the next 4 years. Union members have to vote before the new contract is officially approved.
Today, parents with the Let Them Choose group will rally to oppose student vaccine mandates and a judge's ruling on masks. The local group will meet at Balboa Park, and they're encouraging families against mandates and keep their kids home from school. On Friday, a judge threw out a lawsuit challenging the state's mask rule. That means kids have to keep wearing masks when indoors at school. And today, President Biden is expected to sign the roughly $1 trillion infrastructure bill. The legislation includes money for roads, bridges, ports, airports, and mass transit. The White House is now focusing on its Build Back Better social spending plan, which keeps getting delayed in Congress.
Well, if you filled up your tank recently, you're probably not going to be surprised to find out gas prices are at an all-time high in our state.
Here in San Diego, prices are at the highest level in nearly 10 years. You probably noticed this. News 8's Chris Groh is live in Hillcrest, an area where price of regular is at more than $5 a gallon. Chris, we were in that area over the weekend. My jaw dropped. I was so shocked.
Yeah, I'm used to seeing this when you're getting right off the highway, right? They sometimes like to trick you, maybe even close to downtown, but here in Hillcrest, this is pretty surprising. $5.19 right there for regular gasoline. It's not just you, Stella, who is surprised and shocked at that sticker price. Also, customers at the pump.
I hope it goes down because at this point, I might be taking a bus. I'm just playing. But gas is just really too expensive, especially out here. Look at the gas is already $5, $4.89 for regular. Like what? Damn, I just put $20. That's a lot of money.
She may be kidding about taking the bus now, but give it a couple of weeks. She may not be the only one deciding they're going to go ahead with public transit instead of trying to go ahead and pay for that really expensive gallon of gas. So the other questions that people are wanting to know the answers to right now is why this is happening and when is it going to end. Now, we can tell you a little bit about why it's going to happen. As for the when it's going to end, that remains to be seen. The reason why we're seeing these gas prices go up right now in SoCal specifically is because of the oil refineries here in our state. Some of them had to have unplanned maintenance in recent days, so that explains that spike that we just saw. Now, as for why they continue to be high really all over the country, well, a lot of that has to do with the fact that oil prices continue to be high as well, too. So all of that is going to mix very poorly for us customers at the pump. So how expensive are things? AAA says the average price of unleaded in California is now about $4.67 a gallon. Here in San Diego, not that far off. We're pretty much trending right there on the average, $4.62. Now, of course, if you're here in Hillcrest, if you're in another neighborhood and you see something like $5.19, and you want to show us what it is that you're seeing in your neighborhood, just use that Near Me feature in our app. You can download that from the CBS 8 website or your app store. But again, snap a picture, upload it there to Near Me. We want to see what you're paying at the pump. Eric and Stella?
Well, yeah, we were just talking about how even when you gas up at Costco, it's still
a little bit more expensive.
You can't avoid it, Netta.
And I bet the line there, it used to be really long and now probably way longer. That was why we had a membership at Costco, was for the lower gases, and that was back in the day. Let's show you what's going on with your weather. This might cheer you up a little bit. A little cooling happening today. It's going to overall feel pretty warm, hopefully comfortable for you. Not as hot, of course, as what we had. Here's a gorgeous view to start off this work week. Looking at Pacific Beach, and you can see that early morning glow. Not quite officially sunrise time, but it's coming along. It'll be here at 6:19 this morning. Here's a look at our current temperatures. 47 Escondido, 43 Ramona, 50 in Poway and El Cajon, 59 in Chula Vista. So temperatures, they're starting off a few degrees cooler this morning as you see that 24-hour temperature change. But by this afternoon, about 10 degrees cooler. It is still dry. I do want to point that out. I definitely felt that, throughout the weekend, and you can tell the offshore wind effect. When we have onshore flow, all of this is usually in the green. Now you see the lighter colors, just showing overall the dry air is still hanging around. 19% relative humidity in Alpine. So even in the early morning hours, we are in the teens in our mountains and our foothills. And all of that the past few days really took out all the moisture from our vegetation. So something to keep in mind today. Our wind direction will change. For now, yes, it's offshore. And then look at that. Onshore comes through. So around 3 o'clock or so, look to the coast and you'll start to see the marine layer clouds creeping on inland. So we will start to notice that starting tonight. Early tomorrow, it'll be more of an overcast kind of day. But today, not the case. We do have still sunshine hanging around. That ridge of high pressure, it's kind of got its last gasp before it really weakens. And 80 degrees will be your afternoon high in places like downtown San Diego, but inland mid-upper 80s in places like El Cajon. So still an overall warm one, but I don't see any 90s except for in the deserts. Let's check in on traffic now.
Well, good morning. Travel times remain fairly calm, I would say. A couple of crashes, though, already at this early hour. Let me go ahead and zoom in here off of your freeways. Union Street, right at the intersection of Juniper. Crews are blocking a single lane. While I'm here, you can see the only buildup in the South County is the Coronado Bridge right at the tail end. I'm not even going to count that. You're still moving at the speed limit pretty much the entire span. Good news, 905, that crash westbound before Caliente cleared, so everything back open. Your travel times are totally fine. Jackson Ridge Parkway, this is a newer one. It is impacting the 8 single lane blocked there. I don't see any backups. 15, at one point we did have a couple of crashes, but we are down to 1. This is northbound right at Pomerado Road. One of your shoulders is blocked, but as you can see, your travel time is not impacted.